The Exodus. You might know this story. Moses confronts Pharaoh, there's all these plagues, and God rescues the Israelites out of Egypt.
Sure, but there's more to it. The way out of slavery is only the first part of a bigger pattern. Next comes the way through the wilderness, and then the way in as they reach the promised land. Together, these three parts form a story about the Exodus way.
Okay, let's check it out.
So first is the way out of slavery.
Right, that's the part everyone knows. Pharaoh is a harsh slave master, grinding the Israelites into the dust of death. So God sends Moses to confront Pharaoh to let the people go.
And as they leave, they come to what seems like an impossible barrier, a flood of waters that are blocking them in.
This looks like the end of the road.
It does. But the way out of slavery often means going through what looks like death. But actually, God makes it into a path to life.
But they aren't home yet. On the other side of the waters is the wilderness, a harsh and dangerous wasteland.
And that brings us to the second part of the pattern. God leads them on the way through the wilderness. He provides for Israel's needs.
Although not in the way or timing they would prefer.
Totally. The wilderness is where they have to learn to trust God and to live by His word and daily bread, even when things feel impossible and hopeless.
And so this leaves the way in.
Yes, the way into the promised land, full of goodness, where they can live as free people and spread God's blessing throughout the world.
Okay, I see the three parts. The way out, through, and in.
But we're not done yet. When Israel gets into the land, this Exodus pattern begins all over again, like a melody on repeat.
What do you mean?
Well, they constantly find themselves facing new threats of violence and oppression. And to confront these new Pharaoh-like enemies, God raises up new Moses-like leaders to rescue the people and lead them out of slavery and into freedom again. There are also stories of these leaders having their trust in God put to the test in dangerous situations, sometimes in an actual wilderness. And usually, when these crises resolve, God brings about a time of peace and abundance in the land.
So this Exodus pattern of the way out, through, and in, it's woven throughout all of Israel's story.
Yes, but things turn tragic. The oppressors turn out to be not just foreign rulers, but Israel's own kings who exploit their own people. So God allows the biggest Pharaoh-like ruler of all, the king of Babylon, to conquer and enslave them.
And he takes them out of their land. After all of that, they're back where they started.
But even here, Israel's prophets saw the Exodus pattern at work. They announced that there was hope for a new rescuer and a new way out. The prophet Isaiah said that God would come to lead his people on a new highway through the wilderness and bring about a new era of freedom and abundance for Israel and for the whole world.
Now, once Israel gets back into the land, that freedom and abundant blessing never fully happens.
Right. So they still find themselves waiting for a rescuer. And that brings us to the story of Jesus.
Many people following Jesus start to hope that he'll lead them out of their slavery to Rome and out from the corruption of their religious leaders.
But Jesus knows the way out isn't just about freedom from crooked leaders or governments. He taught that humanity is enslaved to a deeper, more sinister Pharaoh that has captured our desires, corrupted our world, and is leading us all to death. Jesus came to free us from that slavery.
How does he do that?
In a surprising way. Jesus walks into the chaotic waters of death itself to make a path for anyone who wants true freedom.
The way out.
Exactly. This is why the first followers of Jesus called their movement the Way. They baptized themselves in the waters as a symbol that they are following Jesus on the way out of slavery to death.
Okay, but in the Exodus pattern, after the way out comes the wilderness.
And that's where we find ourselves today, journeying through a world that can feel dark and hopeless. But Jesus' followers trust that God will lead them through and provide for their needs and be with them through every test.
And the goal of all of this waiting and these tests is the way in, right?
Yes, and this time, it's into a cosmic promised land where everything is made new.
Everything made new?
Well, Jesus described it as a cosmic rebirth, or as the reunion of heaven and earth, where all relationships are unified in love and joy and peace. This is the ultimate land of promise.
So the Exodus story is about way more than Moses and Israel.
Yes, it is also our story. And Jesus himself, he is the way out, the way through, and the way in.
Our mission at Bible Project is to help people experience the Bible as a unified story that leads to Jesus.
We're able to give away for free everything that we make because of generous people like you all around the world.
You can see our entire video library, check out all of our resources, and join us at BibleProject.com.